In a world powered by advanced technology, crime and action sweep through the archipelagic nation of Cremona. Inspired by the real city of Cremona in Italy, and other cities of Lombardy such as Milan. Chief among the major players is Killer B, a vigilante serial killer who has thrown the city into chaos. The stories of the protagonist Koku, Keith, a legendary investigator of the Royal Investigation Service, and a mysterious criminal organization intertwines on the path to reach their objectives. Koku is a demi-human with the ability to shape-shift parts of his body into wings and blades. Attempting to save his childhood friend Yuna, Keith Flick is attempting to solve the murder of his sister 8 years ago. Both of them are up against the Market Maker, a hidden organization that controls the government of the island to understand the magical powers that Koku has and where they came from. The Royal Investigation Service pursue Killer B for a series of murders of suspected criminals. A survivor of the latest attack is recruited by Quinn, a member of a mysterious organization, to steal a prototype weapon and go on a rampage, luring out Koku. Savant Detective Keith Flick sees through the diversion to an even greater theft. Using superhuman powers, Koku and Quinn battle atop a runaway train, the wreck of which is later used to leave the Killer Bee signature. At a staged Killer Bee crime scene, the RIS find a body killed by a poison gas, which they fear will be released at the mayor's charity gala. While searching the gigantic hotel, the RIS attend undercover and thwart an attack on the mayor. The criminals then take over the building's automation and threaten to release the gas. Lured to the event, Koku follows Izanami to the rooftop. Kayla defeats the building lockdown, and Minutsuki releases a knockout gas to aid his people in covering their involvement. Keith realizes the meaningless crimes are being used to lure Killer Bee, and tries to pursue by car as Izanami leads Koku from the rooftop. At Lake Lenin, she tries to stir the memories Koku locked away, but he fights and defeats her. She tells him to touch Canopus. Lily has a bad gut feeling about the crimes, but Marco inspires Lily and Bran with their oath of service. In a flashback or dream, Keith sees Erika Kazumi Flick tortured and killed. He and Koku each go to the Royal Library for research. Lily demands Keith use his genius to explain the mysteries underlying the crimes. Boris accidentally invites the team to a drinks party at Keith. Bran discovers that the entire precinct is being surveilled, but he is attacked before he can leave the building. Bran survives the attack, but the team are ordered to keep their distance from the investigation, which appears to be an inside job. Lily and Koku each pursue Keith for answers. Kayla recovers data from Bran's damaged laptop, but the surveillance program is shut down before she can trace it. Keith receives a clue from Bran and sets a trap for his attacker, Jean Henry, who turns it around by killing himself to frame Keith for his death. Koku snatches Keith away to the rooftop and asks if he is Canopus. Keith acknowledges Koku as Killer B, or rather, 13. Kamui falters as his need for a stabilizing drug increases. Koku demands Yuna's location, and Keith realizes Koku's messages were addressed to her. Keith has become a murder suspect, and the team look into his past. Keith tells Koku about the Jala Blanca Institute, which tried to recreate winged beings whose fossilized remains were found, to restore gods of the past. The program resulted in malformed and insane people, who were ultimately used as a covert strike team called Market Maker. As a child, Keith decoded an inscription which gave vital insight into the structure of the gods, and his father led research toward the Institute's original goal. But Market Maker turned on the Institute and destroyed it. Yuna appears and attacks Koku. He gains the advantage, but his memories return when he sees her eyes and realizes who she is. She stabs him, but her memories also return. However, as they accept each other, Minutsuki runs them through with a sword. Minutsuki takes a wounded Yuna while Market Maker attack an enraged Koku. Kamui keeps Koku occupied, and dozens of harpoons are launched from the airship Moby Dick, impaling them both. Keith fires a shotgun at a gloating Minutsuki, who is shocked to find the wound burning. On Leica's counsel, they withdraw to the airship, leaving Keith to tend Koku's injuries. A flashback shows Koku and Yuna as children at the Institute, making their secret sign, and being separated when the Institute was attacked. Koku's protectors died defending him, and he assimilated their body parts, but couldn't live with the guilt and suppressed his memories. The RIS is given 24 hours to find Keith or face disbandment. Minutsuki's left arm is amputated by Regulus, the ringleader who led Market Maker's revolt. Lying low, Keith asks Koku about dead Kyle, said to have killed his sister Erika. Koku explains that he was a Reggie, a superhuman killer released into society when he became unstable, like all the criminals Koku had killed. Keith briefly contacts Eric to let him know it's coming to a conclusion. Examining Keith's notes, Lily feels they are a cry for help and learns about Erika. Eric suspends her, believing she can find Keith and help. Taylor rebuilds a secure system, Nautilus, and tracks Lily, but Market Maker also track her. Shortly after Lily finds Keith with Koku, Takeru attacks them. Koku counterattacks and kills Takeru. Hikari confronts Minutsuki with her loss and is strangled. Keith turns himself in and explains that the madness Market Maker creates has spread within the organization and needs to be exposed. Keith claims to have a suspect, but no proof. Eric derides Keith for waiting so long to ask for help. Eric admits that the abduction of dead Kyle to expose the cover-up had been his idea, but Keith acted alone. Eric then assembled and trained the best people he could find into a team so they could do what they couldn't before. He puts them at Keith's disposal. Keith suspects Gilbert, a forensics doctor and his childhood friend, who is still obsessed with Erica. Lily provokes him, but Gilbert realizes he is being manipulated. He switches places with Kamui and another Reggie who set a trap for Marco and Boris. Lily awakens on a forensics table where Gilbert intends to carve her up before Keith arrives. Yuna awakens, healed, but refuses to cooperate with Minutsuki. Searching for Gilbert and Lily, Keith deduces that Gilbert operates on lookalikes of Erica in a secret lab within the building. Keith and Eric find his trophy room with dozens of preserved bodies, including Gilbert's father, the last chief executive of the Institute. Gilbert phones Keith to taunt him, leaving Lily behind to make his escape. Gilbert orders Market Maker to kill everyone associated with them working for the police, but Laker refuses and severs their relationship. Gilbert breaks down at the loss, but quickly suppresses and discards that personality to prepare for a final confrontation with Keith. Koku uses a powerful uplift to reach the Moby Dick. He fights an insane Minutsuki who turns out to be an expiring Reggie whose memories were altered by the real Minutsuki, Leica, who sets a bomb on the airship. He escapes by helicopter with Yuna and returns to the hill where the fossils and inscription were discovered. Lily awakens in the hospital and realizes that Keith is pursuing Gilbert on his own. Gilbert tells Keith how he proposed and led the attack on the Institute, gaining Minutsuki's confidence with a lie. Minutsuki was the original target of the attack, as he could stabilize all the Regas and give them independence from the military and king. Believing that he is following prophecy, Leica stabs Yuna, though advised by Keith to avoid the jet black, which may rob him of his powers. Koku goes there to save Yuna from Leica. Assured of his right and advantage, Leica falls to Izanami's leg. Gilbert explains how he was deeply affected when Keith denounced murder, and how so much of what he did was to win Keith to his way of thinking, by putting him into a situation where he would consciously choose to kill. Keith initially rejects this, but when Lily is threatened, he shoots Gilbert in the head. 3 months later, things begin to return to normal as Koku and Yuna begin to live normal lives. In a post-credits scene, Kirasama, Koku's childhood protector, is shown to be working with the administration that oversees Market Maker and the RIS.